Hello there guys, it's Joey, and these are some new items in the Sorceress of Avalon Morgana Le Fay spell range. These were a request. However, I had been meaning to go back and re-explore certain energies within the two remaining sorceresses, which I haven't got an oil or a pillar for. I already have them for Morgos, and I will be doing the little spell pendant charm for them all as well, and then Nimue needs hers doing for the store. But these are technically a request. It was requested. The lady who's requested is also wanted the orb. The orb is here, the orb is done, but I'm not going to be picturing the orb because that already exists on the store, and we've already had a look at it and explained the imagery. So we're just going to focus on these three items per the request. So I'll tell you what, let's just I'll read to you the backstory, if you like, from the previously existing Sorceresses of Avalon spell line, which is all my own work. Within the Arthurian myth there is arguably Celtic origin, and I feel that the Christianization of these myths has taken away from the power and beauty of these women, and I wanted to peel back the diminished ideas and represent these sorceresses in a positive fashion. The energies invite you to look beyond the myths of Avalon and the negative stereotypes of women in power, and embrace your own magical potential without being apologetic for who you are, whilst keeping in mind your personal responsibilities. Morgana Le Fay, Sorceress. The word swims with power, magic, and unfortunately negative associations throughout mythology. A prime example being the sorceresses within the Arthurian cycles, particularly Morgana Le Fay. The spell energy of Morgana Le Fay invites you to look beyond the myth, beyond the negative stereotype. She is a mistress of magic, the deep mysteries, psychic abilities, spiritual guidance, and personal spiritual power. Perhaps the most famous of the three, it is suggested by some that she may be associated with the goddess Morrigan, the 9 ladies of the Morgan being a different aspect of this goddess. In the myth, she is sometimes demonized as a sorceress, whereas her male equivalent Merlin is not. Morgana Le Fay is magic, wisdom, power, and teaches us how to embrace our uniqueness and walk a path that is entirely our own, even when others would disapprove. And within a meditation with Morgana Le Fay, I had the phrase come to me that magic is our birthright. It's a very interesting energy right now. We are in Lilith in Scorpio, and it's affecting pretty much the tone of everything right now. And I've actually talked about the energy that's going on right now in a amusing post, a discussion post on the Facebook page for the Starry Eyed Supplies Facebook page. And I was talking about the fact that there's been all this imagery and all this coming to grasp and really investigate and take a good hard look at how women are being portrayed and how women are being put down, and any women that are in their own power, in their own place, that are confident in who they are, be it sexually, be it in a sort of power sense, they're all being quite degraded right now. And there's a lot of the sort of rising against that coming with Lilith in Scorpio. Images of women who have been put in mental institutions, such as Miss Ives. I was going to call her Miss Ives, and maybe she is a saint, who knows, from Penny Dreadful. And that was the theme of the last Penny Dreadful, about her being demonized for her feminine power. And there's been so much of it. Go read the post. It's so much of it right now. And Morgana Le Fay is a prime example of a powerful female within lore that became demonized. There's actually two main versions of the Arthurian myth, and the one that became most popular in modern culture, if you like, has her as a demonized version, has her as a seductress and a temptress and a villain. And in the other version, she was a healer, and it wasn't demonized. And the fact that she remains in all the myths as the one that ferries Arthur's body to Avalon is reminiscent of the fact there is more to it than that. If she hated him so much, she wouldn't have took care of his body in her role as priestess. There is a lot to be said about Morgana Le Fay. She is perhaps the most iconic of the three. Arguably, you can make arguments that perhaps Nimue is well known. Some people associate her with being the lady in the lake and so on and so forth. So that is known. I feel like Game of Thrones now. It is known. It is known. But I would argue that Morgan Le Fay, is the best known and has many cultural references outside of the Arthurian myth. And of course the Arthurian myth remains popular to this day. It's told and retold and retold, particularly in England, and stays with us. And it's always been a part of the story of England that I loved and couldn't really understand why until I realised that there was a Celtic origin story going on, and that it had been changed. And it's one of these powerful stories that can't be got rid of, so it gets altered. And each generation changes stories anyway, with their own spin on things, changing, adapting. And that, of course, in itself is a form of magic over which Morgana Le Fay presides. The storytelling and the retelling and the evolution of storytelling and words and the power of words is something definitely associated with Morgana Le Fay. The weaving of story and word is magic. It's just magic. And this energy right now of being unapologetically yourself is just, it's so in keeping with what's going on right now in the world, and with the energies around us, and what's going on in the cosmos and everything. It's just so key to fighting the good fight and being who you are and not apologizing for who you are, and understanding what it is to be who you are, without putting yourself down, without degrading yourself, and realizing yourself as a magical being. And it doesn't mean that, I don't mean that you have to be engaging in particular forms of magic to be a magical being. You can be doing that, you can be in ritual, you can be in prayer, you can be in spellcrafting, but it's about finding the magic within, what connects your soul to its purpose, what sets the fire going in your belly, in your soul, you know? And that is what is meant by magic, is our birthright. You are born to it. You are born to be a reflection of the world around us and make the world a better place. All about choice. Right, so let's look at the items individually. Now I have gone on at length. I'm stopping myself because I could literally talk about Morgana Le Fay and those kinds of energies at length. So I'm stopping myself, seeing as this is there's supposed to be videos to show the individuals. Oh, this is how everything came out, and this is the story behind it. And come on, focus. Thank you. So I decided to do the spell pendant a little bit differently for the Morgana Le Fay, and indeed all the sorceresses will be one of these, because I really liked how it looks like a little spell vial. And this is very wearable, and I'm hoping you can see. So there is a mixture of the shimmy shimmy and the appropriate key herbs, resins or flowers within. And then the triquetra at the top. for the cycles, life, death and rebirth, the interconnectedness of all things. So then we have the spell oil, and the spell oil is a little bit of magic itself. So I shall firstly give it a very light tap, and you can see. Now I'm going to give it a shake. It could be magic. Isn't that awesome? It shapeshifts, it changes, it brings forth an energy of magic depending on how you interact with it. I kind of love that about this set, that the oil came out that way. I was like, oh, I like that a lot. I like how that interwove that way. That's wonderful. There are birds distracting me again. I think that's a female blackbird. I'm pretty sure it is. What are you doing? She's rubbing her head on the top of the... I'm going to see if I can get her, because I sound nuts. See ya? In the middle of the magpie. Come, please. Oh, it's not going to focus. Alright, fine. I sound nuts, but it's happening. This place, I swear, it distracts me. Okay. And then the spell cauldron. So the spell cauldron was requested to be black based and for a purple inner. Now it is a purple inner. It's a very, 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 very dark purple, almost black wax. I was very tempted to like take pictures of the wax as it was going in to try and show that it was. But I decided alongside that to go one step further and have the ethereal artwork within the top again, mirroring the cosmic cappuccino as it's now known. The soul path spell cauldron. Someone's like, oh my god, it's a cosmic cappuccino, and I'm like, that's all I'm going to be able to call it from now on. That's awesome. And so this has that sort of energy interweaving. It looks very much like looking at the cosmos, like looking at images of space, of the high heavens, of magic. This is the essence of magic as far as I'm concerned. When you see things forming and taking shape in the cosmos, there's just that spark of life in everything, that incredible potential, that incredible power, that incredible magic. It's wonderful. You've got triple shimmy shimmy. I don't know how well it's going to show up because we've got some weird old lighting going on in here today. Normally it's too glary, and then today it's overcast, so there's not enough light. And you've almost got the triquetra again here. You can see where the triquetra would be within the wax with the points here. Right, so that is those three. I hope you like them, and many blessings.